This is Tom Blair with Inside Colorado Wrestling, doing another episode of Boundary to Boundary High School Wrestling in the state of Colorado. We're here. Guest tonight is Joe Moore, the Littleton High School head coach. He's up here at Victory Training Center facility up in Loveland, getting in some workout time for his kids and for himself. How's it going, Joe?
It's going good. It's going good. You know, we're in the midst of it's July 16th, so we've been in COVID now for what, 4 or 5 months? Is that about right?
That's about right.
4 or 5 months. So you know, this opportunity came across my desk, and you know, I thought it was a great opportunity to get the kids some mat time, be able to get some contact. Back at our high school, we're allowed in-person practices, but we're limited in being able to have contact. We've got to keep to 6 feet distance. Only 10 allowed indoors at any given time. So this is a great opportunity for some of my kids that are maybe a little more eager. So,
a great facility up here. Let the wrestling community know a little about your wrestling background and your coaching background.
Sure. So I'm originally from Okoboji, Iowa. Grew up there, wrestled all through. I started wrestling when I was 4, wrestled all the way through high school. Was a state place winner in Iowa. Went on to wrestle at the University of Iowa from 2007 to 11. Was part of the team there for 4 years. When I graduated, I helped out at...
Did you crack the starting lineup?
I did not. I was not a starter.
Okay. Well, there's guys on the team that, there for 4 years that don't crack the lineup, but it still gives them good experience and good training to go on into the coaching field.
Yeah, for sure. That experience was an awesome experience, invaluable. Learned a lot. Learned probably more in that 4 years than I had all my prior wrestling. So, sometimes, I don't know, maybe it's my way of justifying it, but sometimes it's more than cracking the lineup, right? So,
you were there with a change of a guard for coaching?
My first year was Brands' first year. So okay. I graduated in 2007, and I believe 2006 was Zalesky's last year, or maybe that was Brands' first year with Mark Perry and Matt Fields. So I think it was his first or second year. But yeah, Tom Brands had just taken over the program. Yeah.
So you had Dan Gable for a year or so?
Dan Gable was around, yes. Dan Gable frequented the room a lot more in those early days. Not so much by junior or senior year, but he's always a presence in that program. So.
Okay. So what's your coaching experience, and how long have you been at Littleton High School?
So right after Iowa, I helped Pablo Ubasa, who's also an Iowa grad, and he has Ubasa trained in Iowa. They're a very renowned club, especially up through that time period. Coached with him for 2 years in the Des Moines area. Then I had maybe a little 2-3 year hiatus before I moved out here. I was in Jackson Hole and some other places, kind of just being a 20-year-old. But then when I was about 26 is when I took over the head coaching job at Littleton High School. So this will be my 5th year as the head coach at Littleton High School. So.
Okay. How many kids on your squad from last year? How many kids are returning? And how did your team do last year during the season and state tournament wise?
So we've probably got around 13 to 14 returning. We've got about 10 new freshmen I expect to join the team, maybe 2 or 3 add-ons, sophomore, junior, seniors. So I'm hoping for a team, in that ballpark of 25 to 30, which is an incredible number given when I started. We started with 3 wrestlers. I'm not going to speak for anybody and say they're about ready to drop the program, but in so many words, that's about where that program was when I took the reins. As for program success, we've struggled as a team just because we've had those low numbers. We've struggled to fill all the weights. That seems to kind of be half the battle here, not just in Colorado, but all across the wrestling world, right? But individually, we had one state qualifier last year. He's a sophomore. He's up here today at Victory Training Center. Going to be a junior. So we have high hopes for him. We had a couple that were right on the verge there at regionals, placers, but didn't crack through in that blood round. So we've got some work to do for sure in the results department. But we've got a bunch of kids that love wrestling.
So coming into the season, hopefully we'll have a regular season. If not, and may get pushed back to January, we should find out by middle of July, end of or beginning of August, what the season's going to look like. So how do you train your kids during the summertime with not knowing?
Well, we had a big. First off, since COVID hit, about a week after we were told everything's canceled, I got signed up with Zoom, and we've been doing gymnastics workouts, calisthenic workouts over Zoom, just trying to keep that bond. But I've had multiple conversations that, you don't know what's going to happen in life. You don't know if you're going to break your leg and you're not going to have a season, or if there's going to be a pandemic and the whole team's not going to have a season, or the whole state or the whole nation, right? So I've really hit home the fact that, we're here for more than just, I hate to be cheesy, but we're here for more than just results, right? We're here to be a family. We're here to challenge ourselves and be better versions of ourselves every day. We accomplish that through the sport of wrestling. It's not our only outlet, right? We hold each other personally accountable. We do that through school. We do that through, our other relationships. When you're 16 years old and you got a job, you show up on time, you show up clean cut and, looking good, right? So that's kind of where I'm coming out with training right now is yes, there'll be a day where we return to competition. I want that as bad as anybody. They want that. I want the results too. It's not that I don't care about that, but at the end of the day, we're a family, right? So we're here to be together, and we're here to train together, and we're here to hold each other accountable and get better. So,
okay.
And they've really embraced that. They've loved just being able to get together and be together and be in each other's company. So,
looking forward to the season. Who do you think is going to be some of your diamonds in the rough?
Diamonds in the rough. So it's hard to call one of our kids, Kai Saito. It's hard to call him a diamond in the rough. He had a decent season, but he started off real strong last year, tapered off. I expect big things out of him this next year. Two of our other guys, bigger guys, we got Isaac Hossford. He was weighing probably about 240 last year, came in about 190 this year, so he's slimmed down, turned into kind of a man, right? Paul Ford, he was injured all of last year. He's on his senior season. Has never had a whole lot of on-the-mat success, but has been just working his tail off. There's so many. Nolan Cooney's going to be a senior. He's always been right on the verge. I don't want to miss anybody, but we work really, really hard, and I'm sure every coach says that, but I make sure first they love the sport of wrestling so that they can get in there and have a passion for working hard. And I think, every year someone surprises me. There's always someone that comes out of the woodwork and you're like, wow, that they really...
One final question is, what are some of your goals for the season?
For the season, I'd love to see us break that 50-team dual win record kind of barrier. We haven't been there, like I said, just probably purely out of numbers, and I'm not trying to make an excuse. But we've been a little short of that, so I'd love us to have more wins than losses dual wise. I'd love to see us get 3-4 kids down to state. I'd love to see it out of those 3 or 4 get 2 on the podium. My overarching goals, my big goals, the reason I took the Littleton wrestling job, I want to see the sport of wrestling grow in Colorado. I want to see it thrive. I think we do that by having as many viable programs as possible, not just 3, 4, or 5 elite programs. And that's nothing against elite. I love elite. I want to be elite. But that's why I took the job. I want to see the sport grow. I want to see international wrestlers come out of Colorado. And not just out of the OTC, but out of the high schools and the communities that are, rural and even in the city, right? So.
Okay, I did have one other question that I forgot. Who's on your coaching staff?
So, I'm the head coach. Courtney Nightingale has been my assistant coach since I began. He's been just rock solid, always supportive. He's got a family, so it's, he can't take it as full time as I do. But Courtney Nightingale's my assistant coach. Last year we had George Philholm as an assistant coach as well. He's going back to college actually. He's going to be wrestling at Western Colorado. So we're going to be losing him. We're going to be looking to probably fill that spot with somebody. We make do with a handful of pretty passionate people, or a small handful of pretty passionate people. So.
Okay. Well, good luck in the season, and thanks for your time and taking your time out here for this interview. This is Joe Moore, Littleton High School head coach, being interviewed by Tom Blair with Inside Colorado Wrestling.
Absolutely. Go Lions and go Colorado Wrestling.